closing in on the moon at nearly 25,000 miles per hour. A 14-foot lander named Odysseus from the Greek epic The Odyssey.
The moon, our planet's natural satellite and long-touted potential second home, has seemed further out of reach than it did when Armstrong and Aldrin did the impossible in 1969. Can you believe it had been 52 years since people or man-made objects bearing the American flag landed on the lunar surface? That's right.
Hippity-hopping along.
Recently, NASA has been working with new partners to help get humanity back to the moon, but the results have been less than ideal so far. So sit back and relax as we explore the ins and outs of these new lunar ventures, the current problems, and the overall future of lunar exploration. It has been 52 years since the Apollo 17 mission of December 1972, a long time without moonwalking. The only lunar missions since have been a series of orbiters and uncrewed landers with various purposes. Only 5 other countries have managed soft lunar landings since: Russia, China, India, and Japan. In recent years, America's NASA has collaborated with privately owned companies to create a cost-effective lunar program. SpaceX, Astrobotic, and Intuitive Machines are the major players of NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Services, CLPS. In a nutshell, NASA pays these companies to transport NASA tech and possibly crew to and around the moon. The companies bear most of the development costs for launches and spacecraft. NASA hopes to send humans back to the moon in 2026. New landings. In January 2024, NASA undertook its first lunar mission since 2022.
That sounds good. And new at noon, Astrobotic announced its Peregrine lunar lander is ready to launch. The spacecraft built...
Aerospace company Astrobotic was the main partner in launching the lunar lander, Peregrine Mission 1 from Cape Canaveral. The lander was meant to help the study of various lunar properties. Unfortunately, the rocket suffered a propellant leak that made an automated moon landing impossible. Astrobotic and NASA control staff devised a 2-step maneuver to redirect the craft to head back to Earth over the Pacific, where it burnt up before reaching the surface. Intuitive Machines was next up on the CLPS mission list. The company's lunar lander, the Nova-C, was the product of a $77 million NASA contribution. Nova-C's voyage was delayed several times until confirmed for early 2024. The lander is a hexagonal prism 4 meters, 14 feet high and 1.57 meters, 5 feet wide. It has 6 legs. Nova-C also has solar panels for generating 200 watts of power. The launch was on the 15th of February 2024 under the mission name Intuitive Machines 1, or IM-1. The objective was to land at the moon's south pole with commercial cargo and scientific payloads. Scientific aims were to study space weather interactions, some radio astronomy, and a few other things. New comms and navigation hardware and software, as well as new laser-guided landing technology, were making their debuts too. Renamed Odysseus, the lander detached from the second stage about 50 minutes in, and its own 3100N liquid methane-powered engine took over. Following a translunar injection, the spacecraft orbited the moon at 100 kilometers altitude. So far, so good. After 7 days, Odysseus finally headed towards the moon's surface. The craft landed at Malaspina crater, around 300 kilometers from the lunar south pole. However, the landing was quite literally skewed. This is because Odysseus tipped over during the touchdown. NASA confirmed that the craft tipped over while approaching at a vertical speed of 9.5 km per hour and a horizontal speed of 3 km per hour. Fortunately, Odysseus remained operational, but with limited operability and communications. The lander is still stuck on its side and remained operational until the 27th of February when lunar night cut off solar power. The probable cause for the messy landing was the LiDAR landing guide system that still had its safety lock engaged. It was supposed to be disengaged before Odysseus was loaded for takeoff. These safety features are crucial when technicians are still working on the lander because LiDAR lasers can cause blindness. However, this safety lock can only be engaged or disengaged manually, and some negligence occurred. How such an important check was not done is a mystery. Luckily for the mission, the control team recognized the issue when the lander was still in orbit. Had they discovered it any later, there wouldn't have been time for solutions. The solution they opted for here was the LN-1 navigation demonstrator, which uses radio ranging for navigating while in lunar orbit. The demonstrator was used in combination with onboard gyroscopes and accelerometers. With these tools, the control team could make a statistically informed guess about where the lander was relative to where they wanted to land. Naturally, this guesswork posed risks. Too slow and they would miss the landing site by miles. Too fast and the expensive and highly anticipated moon lander would crash hard. However, fate had another twist for this lunar odyssey. Also on board was another LiDAR payload, the NDL for Precise Velocity and Range Sensing, which was originally meant for scientific research after landing. It had not been configured to help with the actual landing. Within a couple of hours, the control teams had developed and installed a patch for the landing software that would allow it to communicate with the NDL. This incredible hacking saved the mission, and the individuals involved were seen celebrating in the live stream. The tilting incident revealed itself as a comms disconnect at the moment of touchdown. One control team member noticed a roll on the video feed shortly before they lost contact with Odysseus. Luckily, they regained contact a few moments later, but the connection signal was significantly weaker than before. This suggests that Odysseus's high-gain antenna had been disturbed. This antenna, which was placed on the side of the lander, was meant to point at the Earth to maximize the strength of the connection. The craft was supposed to land facing a direction that would allow this, but this is no longer possible with the lander tilted. Intuitive Machines later confirmed that Odysseus was still in one piece despite telemetry indicating the lander was on its side. Apparently, one of Odysseus's legs dug into the lunar ground and, combined with the craft's forward momentum, caused it to rotate and fall over. A NASA press conference revealed that Odysseus is lying on Panel E, one of its 6 sides. A few images of and from the lander were released by NASA and Intuitive Machines.
From NASA's historic mission to the moon, take a look. These are the first pictures we've seen of the lunar lander there on the moon, the first U.S. spacecraft to make that soft landing.
One is a wide field of view image taken by an onboard camera shortly after Odysseus fell over. The mission was still hailed as a success for space travel and observation. US President Joe Biden voiced his congratulations via a White House statement.
Hello, Mr. President.
Hey, Steve, congratulations, man.
Hey, thank you so much, sir.
I'm so proud of you guys.
Lauding Intuitive Machines and NASA for shaping the future of human space exploration. After half a century away from the moon, NASA surely learned many important lessons from Odysseus. The agency plans 4 more launches in 2024 as foundations for the Artemis program continue taking shape. With that, we've come to the end of the video. Don't forget to share the video, like, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell to stay up to date with your incredible space channel. Bye for now.